take care. Hope to see you never.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Doc's Pop Reviews. We're talking about MTV The Challenge, Episode 6, Free Falling. The opening is we are back at the house after the double elimination. Jimmy makes note that every day from here on out is essentially a guy's day and a girl's day. Johnny is stressing out. To me, this might be potential foreshadowing because we haven't really seen a whole lot of Johnny this season. So I thought there was some foreshadowing there. Anissa and Laterrian are cuddling up. Laterrian makes note that he is single. He has no kids. They're kind of laughing a lot because Laterrian needs to brush his teeth, but Alton and Hisela are kind of hogging up the bathroom and he doesn't want to go in there. And
Katie, she mentions that for her, she feels like she's safe because no guys is going to pick her. And if she ever does go in, she says she's picking the strongest guy to go with her.
That's right. Yeah. Which is smart thinking. Next day, we have another Heights Over Water challenge, and it's called Escape the Room.
Yeah, so this one, they break down 4 teams of 4, and they're in a container 30 feet above the water, and each of them has a station, and there's a puzzle at each station. The floors will open in order from left to right, basically, as time goes on. Even though it's going to be a double elimination, it's still technically a woman's day because the woman is the one who gets to choose who her partner is going to be in elimination. So TJ gives them that heads up. So they have the 4 teams are gold, Ruthie, Big Easy, Janae, and Laterrian. Silver is Hisela, Alton, Kellyanne, and Darrell. The copper team is Katie, Yes, Anissa, and Derek. And the black team is Mark, Kendal, Nehemiah, and Jemmy. So they have to choose captains, and the gold team, I forget exactly how Ruthie, but Ruthie becomes a captain.
She volunteered. Like, she said she wanted her fate in her hands. She said it in the confessional and she said it in the aftermath. That was her strategy. Her goal was, if I'm captain and we win, I'll automatically be safe. And it is a gamble because then you can be automatically sent in, but she was willing to make that gamble.
Yeah, and then between Laterrian and Big Easy, and Laterrian's like, I've been captain twice, but Big Easy still said rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yeah, I kind of felt like that was kind of junk. Laterrian made a good point. He's like, I've been captain twice. If I was Big Easy in that moment, I would have just said, yeah, you're right, I'll be captain. But Big Easy, more than any other season I've ever seen him on, this is the most scared game that I've ever seen him play. And he just doesn't want to be captain. He doesn't want to go in the arena. He just wants to stay as long as possible, trying to make to that final, I guess. And but no, yeah, he told Laterrian, let's do rock, paper, scissors. Laterrian was fine with that. And Big Easy lost anyway. And he ends up being the captain, which I made note here. I felt like this was actually a mistake on Ruthie's part because if you volunteer to be captain, whoever the guy is, you don't get to choose your partner.
Yeah. You
are stuck. So if Ruthie and Big Easy lose, Ruthie is stuck with Big Easy as her partner in the arena. So I was like, ooh, this might have been a mistake on Ruthie's part. That's what I was thinking at the moment.
Okay, for the silver team, it's Kellyanne and Darrell are team captains. For the copper team, it's Katie and Yes. And for the black team, it's Mark and Kendal.
Which I thought was funny because Mark has been wanting Kendal out. And now they're captains together. But, you got to do what you got to do.
First round is the gold team and the silver team. It seems like Big Easy, he got the puzzle pretty quickly.
Yeah, Big Easy, he solved this thing super fast. But the thing that Big Easy did, which I noticed other people didn't focus on, Big Easy solved the letter, but he noticed the designs on the outside had to be right too, which this is where everybody else failed. They're like, oh, I got the center part right. I got the letter right. But they weren't paying attention to the designs on the outside, and that's really where it messed them up. And this is also where I eat my words that Ruthie shouldn't have volunteered because Big Easy ends up being the main guy who wins it. He's the only one who solves the whole thing.
Yeah, one by one they all fall down. Then we have the round 2. This one was a little shaky. Katie, all she did was flip over her pieces and then she braced herself. She's like, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. She just was like getting ready for the drop.
The thing I liked about this particular competition too is even if you solved it, you dropped.
Yeah.
That we were talking about that. We're like, oh, if you solve it, maybe they just leave you up there, and then all of a sudden we just saw them drop. But everybody would have dropped anyway, except for Big Easy.
Oh,
because
yeah.
he was the only one that 100% solved. But I liked that they already had that in mind. That even if you solve it, you're going to drop in the water. So I thought that was pretty cool. It was very entertaining.
Mm-hmm. And then the last one to drop was Kendal, and it was too late where she figured out her puzzle was upside down.
Yeah, and her confessional was so funny to me. Like, she thought, okay, I solved it. It's just upside down. Maybe they'll give me partial credit. And I was like, this ain't elementary school. She must be thinking about how her kids are in school and her kids come home. Oh, I did it kind of wrong, but the teacher still gave me partial credit. Like, no, you are playing for $500,000. Yeah. They are not going to give you partial credit. Forget that, Kendal. Sorry. But I also, we were talking about this. You had questioned about how did they know who lost?
Mm-hmm. If they all got it wrong, because only one player, which is Big Easy, got it right.
Right.
100% right. Like, only one player. So if everybody else lost, then how do they determine which one's the bottom?
They didn't explain how they lost, but this is my theory. I think they counted how many pieces were wrong for each team, and then it added up. Because Mark even made mention in the aftermath, and I saw when he fell in the water, Mark took like 6 or 7 pieces with him into the water. He had them in his hands. So that's automatic 7 pieces wrong because they're not even on the board. And for Kendal, she had it completely right, but it was upside down. That means every piece of hers was wrong. So if you count what Mark did and what Kendal did, that cancels out. I mean, like they showed Hasella's, and I think she only had like 4 pieces wrong. Laterrian, he only had like maybe 6 or 7 pieces wrong. Everybody was like somewhat close. And so I think because of really Kendal, hers really set them on track to lose. So that's my theory. They didn't explain that, but I think that's what it was.
Mm-hmm. So in the end, Big Easy and Ruthie are safe, and the losing team is the black team. So that means Mark and Kendal are automatically in the elimination.
Right. Then we get back to the house, and Mark, Kendal, Jimmy, and Nehemiah are sitting around talking. Which, if I was Mark and Kendal at this point, I wouldn't be talking to Jimmy and Nehemiah, because for me, those would be options. Like, Kendal could want to go against Jimmy, but I think Jimmy is smart enough, like, hey, let's keep talking to them, and then they won't even think about me, right? I think that's kind of Jimmy's thing. And Nehemiah, I know he's been rooming with Mark. Mark basically says, hey, Kendal, you can choose. I'm down to go against anybody. And Kendal says, let's let the house choose. She doesn't. At first, she kind of thinks about Hasella, and I think that's the only person she kind of names.
She mentions Katie, but then she says she wouldn't want to do that to her.
She feels like it'd be mean.
Yeah.
And Hasella is a coin toss, because if it's a pole wrestle or something where size is an advantage, Hasella's going to destroy Kendal. But if it's something where it's endurance and speed, then Kendal's got the advantage, but they're not going to know until they get in there. Mm-hmm. So Kendal says, let the house choose. They end up going to nominations. Katie volunteers again. I think I even mentioned this in last episode. I thought the volunteering was over.
Yeah.
I seriously, even if somebody messed up, I thought volunteering is out the door. It's time to get ugly. Let's vote some people in. And Jimmy. Jimmy was super upset that Katie volunteered. She wants names to be said.
Yeah.
But now, the interesting thing about this, and Kellyanne brings it up, is Katie volunteers, but Kellyanne says, well, wait a second. That's nice and all that you're volunteering, but that means there's a guy's name that's on the line too. They might not want you to volunteer. But then it comes down to a vote, and they all vote Katie in anyway.
Yeah.
She does make a good point. So then they go to the party time. This is where we see Derek with his fake head drama. His fake head trauma. You know, we had seen this in the trailer. We thought he might have gotten hurt for real. This was all staged. He just making a joke to not get picked. But we do find out in the aftermath he did go to Katie and said, "Hey, if you need me, I'm willing to go." He's just trying to make it all fun. Katie gets a crown. I think Yes made the crown. Yes had a doctor's note saying he can't. Nehemiah said his eye was twitching. He can't. Darrell said his back is hurt. He can't. But this is where we get Laterrian, and I really appreciate this. Laterrian says, "Hey, look, you pick me, I'll fight for you. I will unleash the dog, and we will fight." So I really like that. And I also think about, from the perspective of the whole house, if there are two players you want out, Mark and Kendal are it. You do not want to see these two in a final. So this is their chance to really eliminate two really good players. Katie is thinking between two players. Yes and Laterrian. If you were in Katie's position, who would you be thinking about before seeing elimination?
Before seeing what it is?
Yeah.
Ooh. Before seeing what it is, I would choose Laterrian because he has that mindset. I'm in it. I'm going to do it. And like half of it is your mind over matter. Half of elimination is just like wanting to get in there and fight.
That's true. Yeah, you don't want to pick some, and I know they were all joking and all this kind of stuff, but Katie doesn't want to pick somebody that's not going to fight for her and that's not mentally prepared to go in. Everybody's kind of, I mean, like I said, they were kind of joking, but there's always truth in some jokes. And so Laterrian just said, "Hey, look, I will fight." So he's ready to go. And then we get to the arena. Mark and Kendal come down. The thing that Katie does have an advantage here is no matter which guy she picks, they have a better relationship than Mark and Kendal. Mark and Kendal don't get along. Like, they're trying to put their differences aside. Mark even made mention his personality goes left, Kendal's personality goes right, but now they're kind of being forced to work as a team, whereas Katie can have her choice and they're automatically going to have an advantage because they get along. So now that we see the elimination, it's basically a tug of war. They call it pull me over, but it's essentially tug of war. It's very similar to what we saw Josh and Jordan at War of the Worlds 2. The difference here is there's no hole that the rope was going into. Katie does get to see the elimination. Now that you see the elimination, would you still pick Laterrian?
Once I see the elimination, I probably would have changed my vote and decide on choosing yes. Because I know that it's an endurance. It's not really, yes, it's strength, but it's also endurance and brains, like smarts. Because remember that one between Josh and Jordan, like Jordan basically had one hand and he dominated Josh, who's like this big burly beast of a guy comparatively to Jordan, and brains won over brawn.
Yeah, I think if it were me, I probably would have picked Derek. I know Derek isn't the best in puzzles, but he does give it 110%. And I'm 6'3", so I know bending over is going to, for that. We found out they were there for an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. Bending over that long for a tall guy, and Mark is tall. It hurts your back, it hurts your forearms, it hurts your body. Derek is a beast. He has endurance, and he's short. Mm-hmm. That's where he would have an advantage over Mark. He'd be lower to the ground. It's not going to hurt his back as much. I don't know if Derek would have won, but that's who I would have picked. But Katie does come down. She does pick Laterrian. TJ announces the first team to 2 points wins. So Laterrian, at the interview with Laterrian and Katie, Laterrian was getting pumped up, and he says, "Katie picked me because my heart doesn't pump Kool-Aid." I don't know what that means, but he made it sound cool. I was like, my heart, I've never heard that. He's like, "She picked me because my heart don't pump Kool-Aid." And I was like, what? So, but anyway, round one begins. This was a shocker. Katie beats Kendal, and Laterrian beats Mark. Mm-hmm. What an upset. I was like, wow, they might actually win this thing. We find out that the rope is 200 feet long, but round one goes to them. And TJ makes note, both partners have to win to earn a point. We don't get to see, like, out of all 3 rounds, we never see Mark win, then Katie win, or Laterrian win, then Kendal win. So I wonder what would have happened if the opposite partners would have won. Like, how would they have broken the tie or like move forward, But we never get to see that. Round 2, this is where you were talking about you got to be able to think, you got to use strategy. Mark outsmarts Laterrian and wins that one, causes him to fall off. Katie just basically gets burned out. She says she wants to save her endurance for round 3, and Kendal wins. Then we move to round 3. Katie loses and Laterrian loses. They gave it their all. They just didn't have anything else to give. They gassed out. But I really like this again. Fessy, if you ever listen to this, eat some of that humble pie. Take notes. Laterrian loses with style.
Mm-hmm.
He tells Katie, "Thank you for picking me," even though he just lost a chance at $500,000, $500,000. He hugs his partner and says thank you. Doesn't have a salty look, not emotional, not blaming her, nothing. Hugs her, says thank you, and moves on. I think that if Fessy were playing this, I think that Mark or Laterrian would have beat him. I don't think he would have beat either one of them. What do you think?
I think he probably would have just been more physical. Like
smart.
Just pull a rope.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
Yeah. Where Laterrian kind of has that mindset too. He's just going to give it his all. He wasn't really thinking too much. Maybe after Mark got in the second round, he didn't get him that way. The third round, he was gassed out. He had nothing left. So it just kind of depends. But this was a really good episode. Any other closing thoughts?
No, not the only thing I probably want to say is just I'm going to miss Katie. She was fun to watch.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up. Every time this season a challenger has grown on me, they leave. I really started liking Tech, he gets eliminated. I actually start liking Beth, she gets eliminated. I start liking Laterrian, he gets eliminated. I got to stop liking the challengers because they keep getting eliminated. But I really enjoyed this. Guys, if you're listening, make sure and go check out Angel Cake Entertainment. He always has great challenge content. I'm Adam with
Kathleen.
Have a great day and
Aloha.